I knew people overreacted to Annihilation. This movie's not going to be bad. Like, not 5 minutes in, the fun was over.
Welcome to Camping for Assholes.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, this experience reviewing these movies before we see the new Mortal Kombat movie has put something into perspective for me. I figured out that all my complaining about recent movies, they didn't deserve it. Because if you made a movie like Annihilation today, I think it would be like a Johnny, what's his name, Wiseau or whatever. It would be like that kind of a caliber movie. It was that bad. But before we get into Annihilation, which is obviously the worst of the two older Mortal Kombat movies, I personally did not see any of the spin-off shows. I saw them labeled. I didn't even realize there was a cartoon and some other one too. I don't know if you guys looked into any of that stuff, but I just revisited the two movies. So if we can go into that if you guys want to discuss any of that stuff. But I only
didn't know that existed.
Yeah, there was.
I watched an animated movie once when I was a child, and I remember then it not being very good.
Okay. Well,
I think we chalk it up to the rest of the MK stuff. Is that just not that great?
Before we jump into nostalgia lane here, when the new trailer came out for Mortal Kombat, everyone was excited about it. And I think I was on the back side of things where everyone was surprised that I was like, I'm not looking forward to it. It's because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice with Annihilation. And I lost interest. I'm like, there's no way you come back from that. You can't do Sonic. Maybe prove that you could maybe get away with like an alright video game movie, but I've never seen a good video game movie, not once, and I still haven't. And revisiting these movies, first off, I couldn't finish the second one because it was that bad. But okay, let's rewind here. Let's recalibrate. Did you guys grow up playing Mortal Kombat, the games and everything? Were they your favorites?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I grew up playing them. They're not my favorites or anything, but I enjoyed them.
Was it like see, I remember them being such a big deal, and having them was a big deal, and playing them, but I always sucked at them. I was never any good at the games.
Dude, I was terrible.
Yeah, but I think I fall on the other end of the spectrum. Like, I went through, a good part of my childhood, all the way up through middle school. I was absolutely obsessed. And like, I was really fucking good at the games. And so yeah, I found that whole fandom and the lore and all that. I was the big nerd that knew the lore and all this other shit. And yes, Mortal Kombat has lore, and it's actually incredibly deep, and it's incredibly stupid, but it's awesome.
So I imagine, like, when you revisit or when you watch these movies, even when you were a kid, there was probably like this big deal, like all the excitement, all the anticipation for it. I don't remember being excited for it. I just remember watching it, the first one anyway. And when I was a kid, I liked it a lot. I liked the first movie when I was a kid. And I remember, any movie like Ninja Turtles or anything that got you like fighting your friends after you watched it kind of signified like a good, action romp or whatever you want to call it, or video game romp, or that era romp. Is romp even the right word?
Action. It is if you say it.
I don't know. Yeah. That's a new word to my vocabulary recently, is romp. But it was fun. It was fun when I was a kid, and I guess let's get into Mortal Kombat. What year was this one? 93? No, 96.
The first one was 95.
95. I probably should have done my homework on the year, but that's okay. All right, Josh, kick us off. Since you're the lore master.
The original?
Yeah, let's do the original.
All right, well, basically, what you have is 3 chosen heroes to represent Earth before Outworld comes and invades Earth, and a tournament will decide the fate of humanity. They lost 9 times. This is the 10th. And if they do not win, Outworld will consume the Earth and merge as one. And somehow that just happens. I don't know. Then you have Raiden, who is the the god of thunder, which apparently is like the only god, and somehow only thunder is represented with the gods, and he has to guide them through the series of challenges and tribulations, where eventually they get to the end and the bad guy and all that. But overall, I kind of want to say one positive thing before we start going on the ridiculous train was, and this isn't just exclusive to Mortal Kombat, 90s movies, especially specifically 90s action movies, have the most incredible movie sets and create an atmosphere you don't see anymore that I absolutely love. Like the sets, like everything has a fucking smoke machine in it. When that boat shows up, like how many smoke machines were they launching off when that boat showed up? But it's so cool. It's like you don't get that type of look anymore. Maybe there's a reason for it. I think it's like the sets are so awesome. Then you could tell it's where all the money went, was the sets.
I really enjoyed seeing a lot of the practical effects in the movie. Actually, I was kind of surprised. I remember one scene in particular where the little boats were coming from the big ship onto the shoreline. And I just I took a moment and looked at each one, and I was like, wow, there was like 8 of them, and they all look like big handcrafted, masterpieces. I'm sure they weren't, but I appreciated that just seeing it, because everything else that they CGI'd or whatever you want. The special effects were not up to par. But yeah, that the beginning of the movie or whatever with the tournament, the 10 years thing. Where was I going with this? There was something else to it, and now,
well, so yeah, I mean, they lost 9 years previously. The 10th year they had to win, or else they were going to get consumed by Outworld. Shang Tsung was the sorcerer who was somewhat in charge, I guess, of winning these tournaments. It seems to be. It's never quite clear, and his goal is to defeat the Earthrealm people, which one could argue he did not do a very good job at managing that situation at all by just choosing the decisions Shang Tsung made throughout the movie. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously Earthrealm ends up winning because Liu Kang kicked his ass.
Oh, that's what I just remembered. I
jog your memory.
Yeah, it brought me back. So it started off with Liu Kang's brother getting killed. And I was confused by that, because it was like, oh, this tournament's supposed to happen. And then there was a big scuffle between Raiden and Shang Tsung where they're like, oh, you can't touch these mortals before the tournament begins. What the hell was the beginning then, where he just showed up and killed him? Was that the previous year's tournament? Is it every year? Is it every 10 years? I forget what the rotation is on the. I don't know. There's a lot of year. I think there's holes.
We can poke holes in the plot all day. I see Adam just drooling over there.
Well, anyway, I think let's. I guess we should run down through a bit of the first one. Do we? We don't need to go through part for part, but I think maybe.
No.
So practical effects and sets, very 90s appropriate, and not bad, not too bad. What were your favorite? Josh, what were your favorite moments? And then Adam, will go into your favorite, your absolute favorite moments of this masterpiece.
I mean, honestly, I enjoy the original Mortal Kombat. I think there's just a goofy charm to it. It's stupid good. It's just stupid good. It's fun. Honestly, some of the bright spots, my favorite character is Kano. I think that character is so perfect for that world. He's so stupid and so over the top Australian fucking scummy underworld boss. He's just awesome, and it's just so stupid. I mean, and you look at it it's a martial arts film, and you look at I remembered these action scenes being so much cooler than what they were. The fights never really, there wasn't really that, the fights never lasted long. But I remember I got excited as I was watching, because I haven't watched this movie in years, and I got really excited because I was like, "Oh, dude, that Sub-Zero scene where he first shows his his stuff in the chow hall, everyone's eating, and what is they set up a beautiful dinner, right? It doesn't seem like anybody's even started eating. And they just interrupt the
It's
entire
like a
thing,
new
start
pair of
flipping
underwear,
tables over.
you know?
All this food just
At
goes to
first
waste.
it's
And
constrictive,
here comes Sub-Zero, and like
but
they
after
do.
a while it becomes
There's so much
part
like
of you.
like just dick waving before these guys fight, and so many noises. So these guys go through like this whole like series of like moves before they touch each other, just for this guy to run, do a flying side kick, and get frozen and shattered to pieces. And I remember that scene in my head as a kid, like being so cool. I'm like, oh man, that was it. That was one of my favorite moments. I also like where when Raiden saves them when they're on the boat, and they first introduce Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and like he just come and has his way with them, and then he's like says this shit to sing Shang Tsung or whatever, and he goes, "Follow me," and he turns into an orb of lights and just leaves. How are our heroes supposed to know where Raiden went?
I had the same thought.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
Follow me.
I don't think
that fucking, oh my god. Okay, not to interrupt. There's
No, go
one
ahead.
part. There's one part where Raiden says a joke or something and like laughs out of nowhere. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He says, the fate of billions depends on you. It's like, what? Anyway, Adam, what do you...
So the reason I'm laughing so hard, and I really have to get this out of the way first, is that I come from this at a totally different angle than Josh does. Like when I was a kid, when I played Mortal Kombat, I was the guy that had to wait till like 3 came out and put all the cheat modes on, so the other guy just stood still so I could do all the one button shit and see how it all goes down. So when I watched the movies, I was a kid who liked kung fu movies, and I liked all those old, crazy, absurd type kung fu movies. So when this came out, it was up my alley in the sense that I liked the absurd. I liked that all the fight scenes were overblown. I liked that all those things were so crazy and drawn out. I still think the fight scenes and the choreography in that movie hold up. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't hold up, but that does. And the other thing that for me stands out is the soundtrack. Like the music in that movie is still rad. Like say what you want about it, you'll turn it on and it's like, yeah, that's still pretty fun. Like that's super cool. So it's just you see me laughing over here and it looks like I'm loading up bullets into this movie, but really as a whole, I'm just not as familiar with Mortal Kombat as you guys are. And for me, it's just from that place that it's supposed to suck. Like I'm a guy who likes like Mystery Science Theater and all that kind of like this movie is just up my alley and I enjoy it from that campy I enjoyed from that campy perspective, but like the music is the biggest part for me. It was just awesome. I'm just seriously having so much fun listening to you guys right now.
Adam,
well,
I got some for Adam. So okay, there's a voice in the beginning of the Mortal Kombat song that's that Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that come in, I was like, I wonder if that's the same guy that does the grunt for Oz, because it sounds has the same fucking audio quality. One thing I wrote down about the music though in the movie was like it's almost like too much. Like that first and original song is just like it's like an insane heartbeat of like cocaine to me. Like when I hear it, it's just like too much music. I haven't heard that much of song.
We were transitioning from jazzercise to jock jams back then, man. Like that was where we were at as a country. Like we needed that soundtrack.
I'm not gonna lie, like when because I was pretty excited to watch it because I hadn't watched it in years, and there was a lot of like nostalgia there. And as soon as I started the movie and that the dude starts screaming Mortal Kombat and the music come out, I got jacked up. Like I actually had to stand up and pace around for a minute because like that's how fucking jacked up I got. I'm like, dude, this is badass. That shitty fucking logo when it comes out the fire. I was sold. I was fucking ready to go. Yep. Here we go. It's coming. But I think what you said, Adam, has like a lot of.
God, sorry.
Yeah. Go get a drink.
No. I got up and made popcorn. I was just like, yeah. And I like made some popcorn.
It's dope. But I think what Adam says has a lot of validity to it because, like I said, this movie is bad good. Like there's just it's garbage, but it's like good garbage. It's good garbage to eat, man. Like it's leftovers I don't mind having for dinner, and it's okay with me. That I don't need stars in this cast, or even though it's fucking
There's a few.
Christopher fucking Raiden.
Yep.
But there's a charm to it for sure, and I think they tapped into something. I mean, that's why people loved it, man. So
Yeah, you can tear it apart once, and then after a while, if it entertains you, just use it to be entertained. It still entertains you in a way,
oh yeah.
Out of all the movies, all the video game movies from that era, this one's probably the best still. But there's some weird stuff that, like, I want to give it a compliment before we get into picking more stuff apart. I actually like the way Goro looked, because I thought for the time, and I don't know how they did it exactly. There has to be a guy under there too, or so. I should have looked it up, but I did.
I did the research on it. It's animatronic, the whole thing.
Holy shit! Okay,
Yeah, they spent so much money on that thing.
but there's some moments that just got me like kind of like where it was just bad, but it was still good because it was like, I love practical effects. I love Star Wars practical effects. I love that, like, seeing something you can actually touch and feel or whatever, and it's not some computer shit. So like Goro stood out to me as like, well, damn, like I've seen movies today that have worse practical effects than that.
Oh yeah.
But there's one scene where he gets hit in the nuts, and they like freaks out about it. Johnny Cage runs up the mountain thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, and they're like, Shang Tsung's just like, finish him. So then like the next scene is you see Goro just like doing this, like you just see this stupid shot of like, like he's supposed to be this big fighter, but he's just like, so I don't know that it was like, as I thought about how cool he looked, then I thought how dumb he moved. So I don't know. I like the costumes.
They're able to capture. It's amazing they're able to capture like the perfect texture of shit for his skin. He just looks like a sweaty fucking turd with 4 arms. It was amazing.
Did you guys get into the heartfelt side story of that one martial artist or whatever that was like Johnny Cage's friend or acquaintance or whatever, and then they kill him off, and it's supposed to be this big heartfelt moment? That didn't choke you up? I remember being a kid and that really choked me up, but then watching it now, I was like, wow, that seems kind of out of place. And then like the actor's reaction to it is like actually kind of takes you out of it too, because like I get Johnny Cage like freaking out about it, but he doesn't when he first dies, but Sonya does like really hard.
Yeah,
but you never see her interact with him once. So I don't know, like,
no.
Oh, I'm trying to pick like one other weird thing too that happened in the movie that I picked up on was there's 2 or 3 fights where Shang Tsung and even if I say the names wrong, yell at me. It's Shang Tsung, right?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay. And then Liu Kang at the end, they say flawless victory. Anytime they said that in this movie, it wasn't a flawless victory, and that pissed me off. No. It was not. Somebody got hit.
The only the only flawless victory was the fight I previously talked about with Sub-Zero and that other dude. That was the only one that was flawless.
What about the Johnny Cage fight? Might have been with Goro.
That whole fight didn't make sense because wouldn't he have been disqualified for leaving and running up a stairs?
Well, that was the other thing too. They had it like, okay. I don't know if we want to just jump around. Fuck it, we're gonna jump around. There was a few things where like everything was really organized. So like, you two will fight, and then they fought in the sand or whatever, and then it was like real structured. And then like for some reason, Shang Tsung's just like, oh, he just randomly steals souls, like even if he doesn't fight people, which I didn't really understand that either. Just, soul's mine, and his eyebrows go up behind his head, and he sucks it away. But there all of a sudden, like, it cuts from like this organized fighting tournament to Johnny Cage in a woods on this rock island that doesn't make any sense. It's like an orchard. He's like standing in an orchard, and all of a sudden Scorpion's there. It's like it cut right to that. Made no sense whatsoever. And then they went to hell. And as much as I praise Goro's special practical effects, then we got the absolute shit show of fucking Skull Scorpion looking like something out of fucking Army of the Dead.
Dead, yeah. It was so good though. It was so good.
It was so
I loved it. Oh my god, that scream.
Oh my god, yeah, that was bad. Oh no. Yeah, and he had a bunch of extra words that he never said, like "get down here." Welcome. Yeah,
we'll get into suckers later. I'm sure.
Okay, so
you know, I'm talking about Adam.
There's one more out of place fight that really threw me off because it seems like Shang Tsung is like this. He's like organizing the fight through the whole thing, but he keeps making decisions that pisses him off too. Because he was like sitting on the beach in his throw, and all of a sudden, like Liu Kang came up and he just like pointed behind him, and all of a sudden Jade or whatever was coming up to fight him. Or no, Katana. I'm sorry, right? Katana, right?
Yes, Katana.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why I'm thinking Jade.
Princess Katana. Yes.
Princess Katana, which earlier in the film, he's like, make sure you. He sends his little lizard thing. Make sure you keep the humans away from Princess Katana. And then like the next scene, he like points behind Liu Kang. He's like, you got to fight the person I want you to stay away from. And then they like grapple and wrestle around, have a conversation. Then he's like, stop. I'm disappointed. And he's like, you fucking moron. Like, I don't know what you want or what he wanted through that whole scene or series of events. I was very confused there. It's just like, it didn't, there's no way like the writers didn't realize that didn't make any sense. And they just kept, they just kept it in. But those are
the element.
That's my biggest. Life. Oh, that was another one too. And then she just shows up and just stands there like,
why did she? I'm like, why do you have to be so cryptic about it? Like, it's either he's gonna hear you or he can't. Just say, use fucking water.
Throw water at Iceman.
Throw water at Iceman, which I find it could be just as hazardous the other way. If Iceman was aware that Raiden cheated and brought 2 jugs of water, why was Raiden in on the whole thing? Couldn't Raiden just relay that message to Katana? You know,
like, just drops in. Fucking Raiden.
I don't think so.
Everybody praises. I forget the actor's name because what is he from? He's from Highlander. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I fucking I hated him in this movie, and that's going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I could not. I hated the fact that he talked in his low, grovelly voice the whole time. I hated the choices made of Raiden in this movie. Honestly, like this is we get into Annihilation. Like I thought he was pretty bad too. I don't even know who that actor was, but how hard is it to do a fucking Thunder God? Like why? I don't know. I'm sure you guys loved him.
It's a pretty ridiculous character. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
How many Thunder Gods do you know, Jared?
Thor.
Yeah, but this is different. I mean,
I know.
Like, yeah, the whole thing's just silly. I mean, it's like I said, there's only one god apparently that protects Earth, and the Thunder God.
Well, that's more like Zeus mythology kind of playing its role in the mix. But I don't know. I just pulled down my butt. I have no idea if that had any merit. My favorite actors in the movie though were probably as over the top it was. I forget his name too. I didn't really do my homework, but Shang Tsung, that whoever played him, I've seen him in other movies too. He was over the top, but appropriate and consistent through the whole movie. Liu Kang also pretty consistent through the whole movie. The rest of the cast, Johnny Cage, maybe he was okay, but he also he looked like Squeaks from fucking Basketball. I doubt it was the same guy, but it looked like him. Like
Liu Kang's character arc is very strange. I want to explain why. Liu Kang starts out as this defiant, maybe a little arrogant, but very self-aware, well-aware person. And he's got like a pretty sarcastic, humorous side to him the first half of the film. Or not even that. But once they get to fucking Mystery Island in the other and Outworld, he becomes this like unsure, scared, no confidence. He's not funny anymore person, and he almost like Luke Skywalker, you know, when from episode 4, almost that Luke Skywalker. Like that's almost he almost like regresses throughout the movie versus when Luke Skywalker becomes stronger. It seemed like Luke King got weaker through the movie, which is really strange because like he was so confident. Like he dropped Johnny Cage's, he knew who he was. He dropped his shit in the water, like whatever, fuck you. And then all of a sudden, like he meets Katana. He's like, Raiden, I don't know if I'm the one. I don't know if I can do it. What's happening? I mean, and suddenly he's just clueless of everything that's going on. I don't know, that kind of bugged me, but
No, it's
again,
you're right to be
Mortal
bugged.
Kombat.
You're
Yeah.
right to be bugged.
I mean, after that much time, it could have been a lack of medication. Maybe his deodorant was wearing off. There could be several factors here. So maybe we got to give him a pass on that one.
So Johnny Cage brings in an absolute shit ton of luggage to this adventure. No one else has a single bag. I didn't notice that. Nobody else had
No.
anything. Luke Cage showed up in this shitty rag tank top through the whole movie.
Exactly. My point exactly.
That's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know how
so much.
yeah, the beginning too. Luke Cage was just like, he was like almost making fun of like the religion side of this, and like this tournament's not real, and like this is stupid. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to fight in the tournament. In the next scene, he's like, I'm going to defend the Light Temple. I wrote that down as like what the fuck, like within no context to change his mind. He just like jumped on board. I liked everything, like story wise and how they brought everybody in. As far as like when you have just a game of Mortal Kombat, so all right, make a movie out of it. The scene introducing Johnny Cage was kind of cool. All the little things actually wasn't too bad. Like, yeah, there's holes and everything, but I definitely had bigger problems with like other movies. And the lore and diving into that and like seeing your favorite characters. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. When we start transitioning into Annihilation, I can't wrap my head around how they couldn't at least make a movie of the same par, because it's not like Mortal Kombat was like this. Was it a huge theatrical release? Because
it was huge, and it did really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was huge, and it made a lot of money.
See, I didn't actually see it in theaters, and I don't know if it would have mattered because I saw Turtles 3 in theaters, and I thought that was great.
Oh yuck. Oh yuck. I'm offended that you brought that up.
I was 7. It's fine. I don't even know how old you're still grossed up by it.
Turtles 3.
So okay, I would say Mortal Kombat is like close to the same level as Mortal Kombat or of Turtles 3. We'll hold them close to the same area.
How did they go so far backwards in 2 years with like their CGI, like basically you took a movie, you put the word annihilation behind it, and you basically took the fighting style and turned it into ballerinas wrapped in bubble wrap. Like it was like Mortal Kombat slap fight would have been more accurate. Like really.
As much as I like want to like tear apart Annihilation, I physically couldn't finish it. It's the first movie in forever that I made several attempts this weekend. I would turn it on. It would take no more than like a minute of movie play before I'd just be like, no, just shut it off and walk away, because it was that bad. It's like
46 minutes.
Every scene. That's how far you made it?
46 minutes.
That's all you could handle?
Oh boy.
Yep.
I'm a piece of shit. I made it all the way through, but it wasn't nice.
You're brave.
But
man.
I'll kind of help you out on that. You know, there's a bunch of documentaries and stuff out why that movie sucked as bad as it did. And basically, you know, it came down to a lot of things. You know, the studio got super excited because Mortal Kombat was a huge success, and the producers made really horrible decisions and even though the movie actually had a bigger budget, but they dumped it all on those horrible special effects. That the whole movie wasn't managed well, and they wanted to turn around as fast as they could. And that's why they didn't bring back a lot of the same characters. They didn't feel like they didn't know what they were doing. You know, they thought they could just more characters and let's bring in 20 more characters and it'll be Mortal Kombat bonanza, versus what they misunderstood what made the first movie so much fun. And they just were like, just throw all the video game characters in there and fucking cash our checks. And they got what they wanted, but they ended up with a horrible legacy and a really shit fucking movie. You know, and I watched them back to back, okay, in an afternoon. And I got done with, like I said, when the Mortal Kombat 1 started and the music was going, I was fucking pumped up. I was laughing on the couch. Me and Heather are watching it. We're fucking laughing how ridiculous shit is. It's a good time. And I'm like, all right, man, round fucking 2. You start up fucking Annihilation. The music goes, right? It's a little different, but it's like a little edgier. And I'm like, oh, fucking right. I knew people overreacted to Annihilation. This movie's not going to be bad. Like, not 5 minutes in, the fun was over. It wasn't fun anymore because
I started
like
laughing
5 minutes in, and I all of a sudden realized, I'm like, wow, holy fucking wow, what a fucking turd this is gonna be.
Was
And
that in theaters too?
Yeah.
Really?
Now imagine going to the movie theaters and seeing that pile of shit, and how you must have fucking felt seeing that.
I couldn't understand the character choices. I don't know why they switched out so many main characters too, and then they like picked it up right from where the last one stopped, because they were still in the.
They picked it up right where it fucking ended, right?
Yeah.
But then they like changed how it ended. Like, they're like, all right, fuck that. We're just going to go. And it leaves off, like, Mortal Kombat leaves off. All right, dude, here's the real big bad. And it's this fucking typical, what is with 90s action movies or, like, monster movies? And, like, all the bad guys have, like, the same grovelly voice. when at the end of Mortal Kombat, the 95 one, and it shows, like, fucking Shao Khan's face in the sky, and he's like, now you will, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's all like, whatever, fuck, I'm going to destroy Earth. It's like that same voice. So weird.
You disturb my slumber. The fucking Lion King.
That's exactly what it sounds like. And then here comes the big bad, Shao Kahn, who isn't a badass at all. He's like,
he's like Kylo Ren. He's Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Many toys. He talks like a child who's been spoiled his whole life. And to find out, like, this, he's kind of skinny. He looks like he may be in presently in chemo treatment. And then there's a bigger guy in front of him, which is his dad, who's a spooky, angry wizard of an old man he's like, he acts like, so.
What character is that?
I don't know. What's that?
What character is that?
That's supposedly King Jared, which. It's the whole. I can go into the lore. I'm not going to, because I'm sure the people watching this aren't. But
King Jared.
Yeah,
King Jared. My name.
Yeah,
my name is the king.
The guy's name is Jared.
Are you serious?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought you were joking. I was like, what the fuck? Out of all the names you could pick, you would actually have King Jared be the big bad?
I don't know. And then, like, the twist at the end to find out, like, Raiden, that's Raiden's father, too. Are you guys didn't make it that far in the movie? That guy's Raiden's fucking father. Get that shit. Did you guys make it as far as when Raiden got the new haircut that made him more powerful?
No.
Oh, you missed some real fucking treasures, let me tell you. Raiden got a fucking... Dude, he got a high and tight. Raiden got a high and tight, and he was like... he tried to, like, mimic the last Raiden, which was even worse. He's like,
oh no.
He's like, new hair, you like it? And they're like, oh, Raiden, wow, you look cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm more powerful. And, like, fucking, and he fights like 3 reptiles, not just one, because now you need 3 of them. Wait a minute, hold on. First of all, before we go, I'm sorry, I'm getting real excited now, but give it up for fucking the reptile CG in the first movie. And how incredibly bad it was. It looked like before you finish rendering a 3D object in, like, a program, like, they never finished it. Well, let me tell you, Annihilation, they didn't do anything different. They kept the same fucking shitty rendering throughout the whole thing. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm sorry, I don't want to take it over, but I could, like, just keep going.
Just keep going. I love this.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, all right. Tell me how far you took it, Jared and Adam.
Jared made it like a minute.
I made it to some part where oh god, it's like they were having like a fucking meeting with all of them, like Motaro and everyone. Like he was assigning a new general, and he killed Rain or something like that.
Right.
Oh, so you saw the Rain part at least, where Rain got thrown into the fire pit?
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh and I can talk about the part after that. Then I think it was Liu Kang fighting Baraka.
Yeah, yeah.
So Liu Kang basically knocks Baraka into that same pit, but instead of making like a filming Baraka falling into the pit, they just use the same footage
Same
of
of
Rain
Rain.
falling into the pit. Like they're going Masters of the Universe
Oh
quality
my
here.
god.
And they just show her falling again. It's just like Baraka became
so
a
bad.
skinny woman and fell into a pit. Holy shit.
Well,
That's
and then,
still
like,
my favorite part of the whole movie.
can we talk about what Rain exactly didn't do wrong? Like, so Shao Khan comes in, right? He's like, he wanted progress report on what's been going on. And Rain is very excited to tell Shao Khan he's done a good job. He's like, we've captured Earth Realm's two of their finest warriors, Colonel Stryker and Cabal. He's like, tell me, did you murder them? Like, he was like really excited. He's like, no, we kept him. He basically said, no, we have him in prison and we're waiting to hear your orders. He's like, you didn't murder them? He's like, no. He's like, ugh, blasphemy. And he just like kills him.
Yeah.
Like, you can still murder them, you fucking psycho. You can still fucking have your way with them.
We've
And he
got
sends
him right
down and
here. We wanted to see if you wanted first crack. What?
Yeah, like, is that so bad? And they're all like shocked that the psycho's killing his own generals, you know, and they're all like, and then it becomes like this childish, like, pissing match between Shiva, Motaro, and fucking Ermac. And they're like, I will capture more souls for you, which I didn't know these people are capturing souls, if that's like the goal here. And the other one's like, no, I will capture more souls for you. And it turns this stupid pissing contest. And he's like, quiet. Oh, and then he makes Sindel the leader, right? Too bad you will die. Best line in the whole fucking movie, dude. And she's like, oh, my mother, you're alive? Too bad you will die. So bad.
Yeah, I remember that part. There's a lot of scenes with Shiva, right? She's the Banshee.
No, that's Sindel. Shiva's
Sindel.
the weird East Indian lady with four arms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sindel. There's like a bunch of close-up shots of her where she's just doing the evil eyebrow raise, and there's like 8 of them in a row. It was really. I wrote that. That's what I wrote down. I was like, a lot of that. That was my notes for this movie. That's how fucking I couldn't get anywhere with it. I was just like, Jesus Christ! Like I literally could just every scene you could pick out like 50 things going on. Shao Kahn flips anytime he gets out of his chair. He flips somewhere.
Everybody's flipping.
I know.
Everybody's flipping. And then, like, can we talk about when Sub-Zero 2, the less intimidating Sub-Zero,
What?
comes flying in on, like, he made like a train track of fucking ice, and he comes slowly just gliding in, like, not effective at all, and like freezes some shit, and then like fights Scorpion, which Scorpion comes and has his way. Now, mind you, Liu Kang just kicked Shang Tsung's ass, which he's supposedly the most powerful one now, right? But Johnny Cage defeated Scorpion. Scorpion comes back from the dead. Okay, he's a specter or whatever. He's from hell. I give him that, all right? But then Liu Kang gets his ass kicked by Scorpion, and Sub-Zero's all pissed off. He's like, if you can't defeat Scorpion or whatever, then you're not ready for this. Dude, he just defeated fucking Shang Tsung. Give the guy a fucking break. But then, like, Scorpion disappears with Katana, and then you never see Scorpion again. And the Scorpion may say one of the best lines where he yells, doesn't yell "get over here" or whatever. He yells "suckers" and then disappears.
Part of me is actually really upset that I didn't finish this movie because. Oh my god.
I think Josh telling it is way better.
I don't know. And
when we started this tonight, I was making the reference of, like, I've spent the last probably 10 years of my life like being overly judgmental on movies because I forgot what was fucking fed to us years ago, that we just we didn't spend enough time complaining about. Apparently, like, could you imagine if like Twitter was around back then and they released
Oh
that
my
movie
God.
and how they would never make another movie again?
But it was what we had back then, you know. Like the problem I have with movies now is just that they're trying to make what we had back then, but like, oh, we can do it better now. It's like, it's not that we need to do it better. It's that the idea fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah.
so just don't do it. It's not.
Yeah.
We don't need to improve the idea. It's a shitty idea. But you know, like just
true.
don't do it. Like it's just bad. But
Yeah,
the thing that blows me away with this movie really is that it's 2 years down the line, and the CGI and the graphics and the choreography and the fights, everything seems like it went 5 years backward. Like it's horrible.
It was worse. It was way worse.
You can see green screen happening. Like it's filthy.
Well, did you actually look in the sky when you look in the sky in that movie? Because you know, like the coloration in this movie is all fucked up as it is. Like nothing makes sense. Like the color of like the actors are different than the coloring in the ground and the sky. Right? It's like a bad high school Photoshop project. And then you can actually see the tearing in the computer where they did the modeling in the skies. You can actually see clear black lines where like they had two of the images meet, but they didn't even spend the time like blurring them or connecting them. They're actually not even touching, and there's a black line in between. And all the sky shots, it's all the same way, all of it.
That drives you nuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And but somehow the writing, like I said, there was something charming about the first Mortal Kombat where like the writing was stupid, but it was fun. But somehow they took that writing and made it like fucking, all of it wasn't even like funny anymore. It was just cringy. Like there was a line that Raiden said where you're just like, I actually had to get up and walk out and have a cigarette because I was just so upset with it. But he was like trying to, apparently there was more trials. Liu Kang had to go through 3 trials, 3 of them, right? But the only trial, he said, Nightwolf said, you have to go through 3 trials. But he only said 1 was courage. And then the rest of the movie, they didn't even fucking finish that thought. Like, they didn't even, like, there was no trials he went through, none. But then, like, so Raiden's talking to them about fucking, like, teamwork and how they have to work together. And he says this fucking doozy of a line. He goes, divided we fall. Together, we can do many things. Yeah, we can, man. You can make a pizza. You can finish
The only thing we can do standing by ourselves is fall.
But together we can do many things. Nobody wrote that. No, I don't accept that. Nobody wrote that.
Is that one of those moments where you watch like the extras on the DVD and it's like whoever was ad-libbing that like made that up and then just like, man, I just thought of that on the spot. Like it was some great fucking line.
That was an unbelievable line, and they feed him the line. He's like, fuck, I can never remember that. He's like, line, and they read it to him, and it's like this profound line. And he's like, I'll get something close. And that comes out, and they're like, it's been 4 hours, dude. We gotta just fucking keep it.
Yeah, and that's where the director goes and like the special, like the additional shit, and he's like, yeah, I just let them go do their own thing. It was like watching art.
Yeah.
Just watching art before my eyes.
That was the best $15 million we ever spent.
And then, you know, something to like, and talk about, like, I don't want to get political at all, I promise, I swear it. But like, let's put your everyday token black man, for the sake of him being a black man in this movie, is the most like obvious shit you've ever seen. Like literally, and credit to Jax, he's the only character in this movie who has any fucking sense, because he's the only one asking fucking questions. Like if you watch him through the movie, he's like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing here? What is going on? And nobody's answering him. Nobody. But like, you know, gets up and raves. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, doing his typical, making him do these typical lines or whatever else. It was just horrible. But yeah, he was the only character who had a fucking brain through that entire movie, because he's asking legitimate questions that not even Raiden's answering. Nobody cares to answer Jax's questions.
I was gonna say it's really honestly playing a character in a stereotypical it was a stereotype in a negative and positive way. It was exactly the way you said it. It was negative in the fact that they made they basically exploited a stereotype for a character, but it
Exactly.
was a funny stereotype in the sense that he was like, "What the fuck are we doing here, dude?
What the fuck are we doing here?
We should probably back the fuck out of here. Like, see ya."
Yeah, totally. I mean, you could see it in his character development. You can see it. I can hear the conversation and the producers. They were like, "Man, we need a black guy in this movie." Like literally, I'm telling you, that's had to have what happened, because no one writes those lines for that kind of person, and just makes it that way. It was kind of salty, man, to be honest with you. But honestly, I think if you're gonna ask me who my favorite character in the movie was, it was Jax, because he was the only one that was funny. And he was the
Yes.
only one who had any fucking sense about it.
He was the only one who wanted to live.
Yeah, basically. He wanted to go home.
was the only one who wanted to live.
I want to switch topics a little bit. So the first movie, the outfits and the costume design actually was not bad.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? Why couldn't you get the same fucking outfits for the second one? Like, did you see Scorpion's outfit and
Oh my god.
Sub-Zero's outfit in Annihilation compared to the other one? It's like one was a Walmart costume and the other was like an actual fucking outfit for a movie. It looked like foam, like a bunchy foam that like had no texture or whatever. I posted the picture of Scorpion on our feed right now in the corner. I'm looking at it and you can see the leather stitching and everything, and the face mask looks really detailed and everything else. And then you go and you watch fucking Annihilation and it looks like I'm watching Power Rangers. I think I said it best. I think I've seen better episodes of Hercules with Kevin Sorbo than this movie.
There was a lot of people that actually equate a lot of the like costumes and fight scenes in this to an episode of Power Rangers. So it's funny that you say that.
Well,
It felt like it.
Even like the one of the last fight scenes where Raiden actually squares off with not 1, 2, but 3 reptiles for some reason. But like there's the scene where like, you know how like Scorpion in the first Mortal Kombat, he does like a cartwheel out of like the woods, and that's how he reveals himself. He's like, I'm here. He does like a bunch of stuff. There's moves like that, but that's like cool, right? But like they had these guys, like they're like 3 reptiles, and they're all supposed to be like it was so weird. They're like hiding behind like rocks. And like, they're doing this shit, and you can hear them. They're like making noises, like doing all this weird shit. They weren't actually fighting; they were just trying to spook Raiden. Like they're just being weird and spooky. And it reminded me of a Power Rangers episode. Remember, like the putty people, the putties or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's how they were. That's exactly the way they were like moving. It was just like that. Like there wasn't even much fighting going on. They were just like spooking Raiden. He's like, "Get out of here," and that was it. And then, they did this one where he squared off for the final reptile, and all they were doing was spinning heel kicks, but like they weren't connecting, and it went on for like almost 20 seconds where they're just spinning heel kicks, and it looked like a breakdance competition. Like it wasn't even like, I don't understand what that was.
Is there a disconnect or is there like a bad delivery between, because okay, the first movie is littered with bad dialogue, but it seems so purposeful. It didn't bother me. And then the second movie is full of terrible pacing dialogue, but it came off cheesy and horrible. And I can't figure out why or what the difference was. Every time Shao Khan like talked, I got pissed. And there was like many random grunts and things he would do that like threw me off. And then it was like that his father or whatever, when he was talking to him, I forget what the fuck they were saying, but all of a sudden like he's just like talking from across the room, and then he's like shh, and he like like teleports right into his face. He says something like, "You did what?"
I think it was just the compensation around it. Like in the first one, you were at least entertained enough to tolerate it, and in the second one, there was just not enough holding it up. You know what I mean? Like, if there's not enough of the rest of it keeping it afloat, you just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Yeah, because I can't.
I think the movie, it had no spirit. There was no soul to this movie. Like you could feel the cheapness, even in the there was bad like like the Sonya and Johnny Cage like love scene. That scene will make you tear jerk in the first one, where the dialogue is so bad, right? Where Johnny's like, I'm here to protect you, and she's like, I don't need your help, and he's like, well, I care about you, and she's like, don't you even dare, Johnny Cage, and you're just like, but dude, like there's something about that, like the characters, they don't pull it off, but they do. There's like heart to it, right? They're trying, it's showing you this ridiculous form of fucking feelings in this awkward way. But if in this movie, even if they had that same dialogue, it wouldn't have struck the same, because that none, you could feel in the act, no one gave a shit. You know, no, it's like nobody, the whole movie was just like, I don't give a fuck. That's exactly what the whole movie said the entire way through.
I agree.
I mean, Liu Kang, you knew who Liu Kang was throughout Mortal Kombat 1, right? I don't even remember Liu Kang being in the second one, because I don't know what he did. He he talked to an Indian,
all right, hold on.
some peyote and tripped out, and then
I need you to rewind. Can you give us a basic outline of Annihilation?
oh fuck, I'll try.
Because I know they all show up. They all show up to like fuck with Earth, even though that's against the rules of the universe. They're able to do that because of things. And
yeah, so basically Shao Kahn breaks the rules of Mortal Kombat because we won the 10th tournament, and he was like, they have a window to absorb Earth, and it's going to take 6 days, because God created the Earth in 6 days, and Shao Kahn decided this is how long it's going to take for Outworld to absorb Earth realm or whatever. So their whole quest is to stop Shao Kahn from doing this, where they get in the spinning orb. Did anybody see that part?
yeah,
They travel
gyrocopter thing.
Okay, I thought that was great.
I was really confused by that. Actually, now that you brought that up, didn't two characters get into it and the other two didn't? But then the next scene was showing the two characters that didn't get into it in it flying down the tunnel.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Because I thought I saw that and I was like, wait, and then I just went with it.
I just tried to assume in my head that everyone wrote on those things. I don't know. But yeah, so basically, and then Liu Kang, they all split up after Raiden gives a speech about sticking together. They all split up, and they decide that's the best move. And I don't know what, it's never clear about what they split up for, but Liu Kang has to find Nightwolf, apparently, who's the Native American fighter, to show him his animality, because he needs his animality to defeat Shao Kahn. He needs to turn into an animal to defeat Shao Kahn. It's the only way. So he goes there, and Nightwolf tells him that he has to have 3 trials, and the first one was courage, and the other 2 aren't mentioned. And then a sexy Asian woman, comes and tries to kick his ass, and she's like, I'm actually on your side. Oh my god, you guys forgot.
Is that Jade?
Jade, you got there, right?
No.
Okay. Oh. So then Jade's like, I know what to do. Follow me. I know where Katana is. Like, great. So then they go back, and that's a whole storyline. While Sonya is trying to she goes and finds Jax somehow, and then wakes Jax up, and then they're on their way to somewhere. It's not clear where they're going, and they fight Cyrax and all that. Well, that whole storyline doesn't fucking matter. So whatever, Liu Kang, they're getting closer to Shao Kahn's castle, and fucking that's where they were. So wait, hold on. Shao Kahn shows up with Sindel, who's his wife, right? And Sindel acts like she fucking, like she gets defeated easily by Raiden. Oh no, I'm sorry. Sindel shows up, has the 3 reptiles fight Raiden. During that fight scene, Liu Kang and fucking Jade show up like, dude, we defeated fucking Sindel. He's like, what? You're like, yeah, she was like, we fucking knocked her out. Like a fight you'd want to see. So Sindel is like,
really?
Yeah.
They just
so
skipped
Sindel's
over?
knocked out, and Jade's there, dude. Biggest twist of the century. You guys ready for this? In a situation that did not benefit either side, Jade is actually betraying Raiden, and she's working for Sindel. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're talking. Yeah, I know it. Sindel wakes up, and she's like, ha ha! I've been on the wrong side this whole time, and I was actually not even knocked out. And he's like, oh, and she's like, all right, haha, we're out. Like, by betraying them, they accomplished absolutely nothing. It was like she
So,
literally just faked she was sleeping, woke up and told them she was faking the entire time, laughed at them, and then fucking left. It did not progress the story at all. It was so weird.
Like,
And
no
so-
joke. That's how that went down.
Remember
Goddamn.
me for your next acting gig. Goodbye.
I gotta watch that now.
You gotta see that, because it's the most. It's outrageous. It's like if like a bunch of first graders set up a prank. Like, that's exactly how that went down. It was like, ha, 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 no, I wasn't sleeping. And then Jade gets punished for being Jade. I don't know. So to wrap all this up, they meet Shao Khan, right? To fight him. And Raiden's like, dude, what the fuck? Why aren't the Elder Gods like stopping this from happening, you know? And I don't know, man. Like, the Elder Gods all of a sudden show up, and because they're gonna absorb the earth, and like, no, let them fight. Like, these two old people, they look like they rolled these people out of a nursing home, no joke. They look confused, the Elder Gods, right? The people who are responsible for our universe, they look confused and they look hungry. Like, they did not get their roasted chicken special when they were supposed to get it. They look very fucking confused. And like, the old guy's like, let them fight. So then they start fighting. Liu Kang turns into a dragon. He found his animality somehow by not doing the trials he was supposed to do.
I vaguely remember that. Okay.
Yeah. And then Shao Kahn turns into a Hydra monster. And like, that's a shit show. It literally looks like claymation.
Mm-hmm.
And like, not in a good way. And then that does nothing, doesn't progress the story at all. Whatever. We find out that Raiden's father is actually Shao Kahn's father, which makes Shao Kahn Raiden's brother. And he's like, you can join us. Raiden's like, I don't think so. And fucking Liu Kang defeats Shao Kahn. They drag Shao Kahn's father back to, I guess he's an elder god too. I don't know. And then they make Raiden a fucking elder god. And
That's
then
how
that's
it ends.
it. That's it, man. And he's like, and then Raiden like leaves. He's like, you guys be good. Maybe I'll show up again next time. It's like,
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat.
Yeah, that's what happened. So
I feel
yeah,
bad
but
for.
like, Jared, if either of you go back and watch the part where Sindel like does that mastery, that twist in the plot.
I actually
really-
wish I would have committed to seeing it, because I've been able to probably.
It's weird. Like, as I'm laughing about it now, but when I watched it, I wasn't
probably
laughing.
angry.
Like, I was disgusted by the whole thing. Just literally, I was disgusted by it. It was just horrible.
Okay. All right. So
All right.
we
I feel
got
better.
through the first one. We got through Annihilation. For the first movie, let's go around and give Mortal Kombat 1995 a nice sweet rating of sleeping bag, cot, or air mattress. All right, Josh, you go ahead. Tell us why.
It definitely gets a cot in my view. Is that, you know, as a kid, that's where you were designated to, was a cot, right? When all the adults got the air mattress, or you weren't quite brave enough to sleep in the bed tent with the sleeping bag, you got a cot. And it was fun as a kid. It was fun. And sometimes, you know, you go to these family trips and the cot's open. You're like, let's do it. It's not so bad. Let's sleep in the cot tonight. And that's exactly what Mortal Kombat 1 is. It's not so bad. It's fun to relive. It's not something you should watch it maybe once every 5-10 years. But it's not applicable for long trips. You sleep in it once, you enjoy the nostalgia, and you go.
All right, Adam, you want to give that? I was referencing for camping. I'm not visiting your in-laws, but that's cool.
Well, I mean, like a family camping trip.
Okay.
I was thinking of a cabin. I'm sorry.
I know. I was picturing you like 4-star camping.
At the hospital, visiting my sick uncle who's dying.
Adam, you got a little. I changed the rating system because you didn't want to do marshmallows.
I hated it, but,
I'm going back to Pudgy Pie. No. I'm gonna give it the mattress. I I feel like it's that nice, secure, comfortable movie. You know, like if you're off the ground, you're comfortable. You're not rolling around in potentially wet filth like you were with the second movie, but we'll get into that later. So I'll give it the air mattress.
Nice. I'm going with the sleeping bag, not
Right.
because it's a negative thing. See, these rating systems are what you make of it. I give it the sleeping bag because there was nothing cooler than sleeping in a tent in a sleeping bag. So for Mortal Kombat 1995, it's like a nostalgia, old school, fun movie that I liked when I was a kid. In my adult life, it's watchable, but I don't want to. I don't want to sleep in a sleeping bag. All right, now on to Annihilation.
Am I going?
Hell, I was thinking maybe I should change the rating system to 3 more.
No, you got to keep using this because I have a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. I do
Okay,
too.
okay. Go with the same the sleeping
All
bag
right.
cot or air mattress.
It's a sleeping bag for sure, and the reason for that is like literally, as soon as it starts, all right, you're sleeping in a sleeping bag, you fart once, right? And it's but as slowly you're farting more and more, and it's just filling up with fucking shit. And every time you move to get a little more comfortable, wafts of fart come out of the sleeping bag and into your face. And before you know it, you just have a whole loaded sleeping bag of shit and farts. And that's what this fucking movie is. It's relegated to shits and farts.
Nice, Adam.
Mine gets the sleeping bag as in the particular sleeping bag from Friday the 13th, Part 7, because this movie is like Jason Voorhees picking you up in a sleeping bag and slamming you repeatedly against a fucking tree.
That's it. Okay.
I think I got her there.
All right, I'm giving this a sweet rating of an air mattress because to my experiences on air mattresses, you get into them and you think it's gonna be a comfortable time, but then it deflates and tries to suffocate you to death. Yeah.
All right.
Now,
Sounds great.
now we're not done yet.
Oh, I know.
We're not done. So, I'm curious to see where you guys think or what your thoughts are on the upcoming movie. I think ultimately a lot of hype for this one. People are fucking going bananas for it. And I'm still not. I think it's gonna still suck a big fucking ass, and it's it's not gonna be good, and everyone's gonna be crying about it. Because I'd rather learn. I like to use history as a reference, and it repeats itself. I don't think they can. I don't think they can pull off this stupid of a story and make it into a movie. So they have to do something completely off the wall and tell a very niche story within the world. Then they might be able to pull it off. But if they try to do, let's get every character and let's do a bunch of fan service and let's do all the things and let's have Michael Bay style explosions and fun. If they do that approach to the movie, I think it's going to suck. If they niche it down and, you know, it looks like it's more around the Sub-Zero Scorpion storyline from the cover and everything else. There could be a really cool origin story there too.
No,
But then
there is a cool origin story there.
But I think they're trying to squeeze in the other characters and muddy it all up. Like, that's my opinion. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Adam, going into the new one?
I'm optimistic either way because it's either going to be one of 3 things for me. It's either going to get enough nostalgia whip that it's going to give us that same feeling that the first one did. It's going to be something new and exciting, and it's going to have a new kind of thing to enjoy. Or it's going to suck really bad and it's going to give us 2 hours worth of stuff to talk about. So I'm optimistic either way. Really, honestly, I am.
Positive thinking. I like that. Josh?
Well, I'll tell you what. Before I get into it, whoever, or if it sucks or not, whoever made that fucking trailer should be awarded something. Because, like, the trailer alone was the most hype shit I have seen in a long fucking. That was one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. I was back here doing fucking kicks and fucking punches in the air after I saw that trailer. I was screaming. I was begging Heather to go see it with me immediately. Like, I was doing all this shit. when the dude freezes his fucking blood and turns into a fucking dagger, are you shitting me? How fucking cool is that?
I'm sorry.
And as far as is it going to be good, I think Jared's kind of on to something here. It can be bad in two ways. All right, it can be bad if it. I'm sorry, my mistake. It can be good in two ways. It's going to be bad if it tries to do what a lot of these movies try to do, where they go try to squeeze story and super cool, stupid action into one fucking movie. That's how it's going to be fucking bad. And that's exactly what happens every time. If they make it campy and fucking full of action, like ridiculous, cool fatalities and blood and gore, dude, I'm fucking in. If they somehow find a niche story to make it grounded and super like dark and cool and they commit to that, it's going to be fucking good. I have a feeling that it's going to teeter on stupid story and I think no doubt it's going to have probably some of the best fighting scenes we've ever seen in a movie. I'm with Joe Taslim and the guy who plays Scorpion. I can't remember his name. Those guys are no joke. And some of the all these guys are real martial artists. And like, I'm telling you, just from what I've seen, there's going to be some of the coolest action scenes you've seen in there. But I have a feeling the story is going to be weak. And I think your expectations really depends on if you're going to come out enjoying this movie or not. I think a lot of people are so hungry for like this super grounded, dark, gritty story that has like these fucking sophisticated twists in it. And all. You're not going to get that. The guy who's done this, I think he's the director. He like did like commercials and like TV shows or something. But I watched the interviews with the director and he seems like he gets it. But Mortal Kombat fans, and that's fans for like a lot of things, people need to chill the fuck out and like understand you're not going to see a piece of art, and not everything has to be a fucking piece of art. Not everything needs to be. Like, know what you're getting. You're getting fucking Mortal Kombat. It's literally the Earth is decided in a martial arts tournament. It's stupid. It's so fucking dumb. Have fun with it. You know, like just go and have fun with it. It's not gonna be Annihilation bad. I can guarantee that. I don't think that they can afford to even the Warner Brothers studio can afford to fucking doing something like that. But
They don't run Windows 95 anymore.
I'm pretty hype on it. I think it's going to be fun, and I think that's the best we could hope for is that it's fun.
I guess if I had to break it down to like a movie I would want to see within this realm, I lean towards a little bit more realism. Like I really enjoyed the Christian Bale Batman movies, especially the first two. And you know they were over the top, but they had like some type of grounded system around them to keep them in line where it was almost believable. You know, it wasn't too much over the top. Stepping into the world of Mortal Kombat and the concept of it, like the way the very first movie was handled, that story I still was okay with, like for what it was being applied to. So if they come close to that, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like sick of over the top action movies. And I know that if a super fan of Mortal Kombat is making the Mortal Kombat movie, well, that's going to be just fatalities in every character and all the all the things, which makes sense. So if I see that, at least I can look at it and be like, okay, a really big fan of the series or whatever you want to call it, the games and all that, made this movie. Kudos to them. But if I see something that is like pulled in 5,000 directions, that's when you start getting more consistently bad movies. Because like there's doing fan service, and then there's just doing everybody's fan service, and then you lose it.
Right.
So I think in today's society, it's almost impossible to nail it. And I'm waiting to see a movie that actually does. I think the last movie that like took on something that was known or had a pretty strong backstory to it and giving it something new was probably Joker, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And that was a very different style movie, and they went a totally different direction. But I think that was the last movie I've seen where I was surprised by a movie.
Yeah. I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think, and it's I lost my thought. Never mind. I had something that Jared said about earlier, and it was like literally I almost had it, and it was like leaving me as I was like groaning.
Yeah, you
And
like you held out. We heard it leave.
It was gone. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think exactly what I was saying. You know, if it's get pulled in 1,000 directions to try to squeeze in all the story, I know there's a new character, Cole, who's in this movie. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You know why this movie is not going to be super grounded and awesome? Because who did the Dark Knight movies with Christian Bale? All right, you had a great director, you had a fucking big name actor, like you have a bunch of nobodies, and I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. All right, this is my prediction: is that it's going to be a fuck ton of fatalities, a fuck ton of blood, and the story is going to be an afterthought. They have this new character named Cole, and it's going to be fodder. I'm telling you that right now. It's gonna be fun, but I wouldn't get too hyped about the story.
Adam, you got any final thoughts on the anticipation here?
Let's get that sitcom Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mortal Sitcombat. Live in a house with your most mortal enemies.
Fucking the mailman
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Zero, this sassy married couple just can't stand each other. Why don't you get over here? Chill out.
This porridge is too hot. This porridge is too cold. But they don't switch bowls because they're too fucking stupid.
Bitch about it.
They don't have mouths. Where are they gonna fucking drink it?
We're on to something, boys.
Do you drink porridge? What is? It's like a soup, isn't it?
Isn't porridge like
I picture
oatmeal?
a lot like oatmeal.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
cream
I'm
of
sorry.
wheat.
Who calls
Cream
it
of
porridge?
The British.
Oh my god. We'll
All
do
right.
it next episode. Porridge.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. You've been watching the beautiful and always engaging Camping for Assholes. Thank you guys.